Okay, lastly, for the Toyota way, we have pillar number 4, solving root problems drives organizational learning. First off, we have the concept of go to Gemba. Gemba being the place where value is added. The top management needs to go see for themselves and verify any data that they may have gotten. Now this is difficult for a lot of top managers. A lot of top managers hide at the headquarters, hide in their offices, and they're rarely seen in the operation. One of the reasons for this is they might be afraid of the employees. But if you're in the white room and there's no toxicity in the building, there's no reason for that. Another reason they might not want to be in the operation is because employees or someone there might ask them questions that they can't answer. But as we've seen with the Toyota way, we have a slow, leaders are picked over time. They've been there in the organization for a long time, and the leaders understand the processes and the reason behind the processes, so that shouldn't be a problem here either. Management needs to go get an understanding of the situation, verify data, and not just listen to what somebody might have said. Now this isn't a trust issue, it's just that it's a call for management to get down to the front line and better understand what's going on, especially if there's a problem. Now number 2, concept is make decisions slowly and by consensus. Think through everything, come up with alternatives, think about the alternatives, and discuss problems with everyone affected. When you discuss problems with everyone affected, it's almost as if it is a training ground because those people further understand the processes. We're trying to get to the root of a problem, and we're going to involve everybody and discuss things. It's going to be slow. Toyota's had several problems over the years, and one of those problems was huge. And it seemed like it took forever for top management at Toyota to do anything about the situation or come out with news, tell us what the problem is. It took forever. In fact, the higher ups at Japan even went to Toyota, from what I've read, and said, please do something, please do something. You're the flagship of our country. It's about pride. Please fix the problem quickly. They refused. They stood there and thought about things, looking over all the alternatives, the potential root problems, root cause, and finally came up with something. And once they come up with something, they act quickly. Now, another concept here is learn and reflect. We've mentioned this several times. They come up with a stable system. They get a processes that create the right results. It's a stable system. There's consistency, built-in quality. It doesn't wobble around. It stays consistent. So once they have that, then having understood all the processes and how they connect, the materials involved, everything should be documented, understood. Then they can use that as a baseline for continuous improvement. In this, if there are any problems, it's not going to be a superficial fix. It's going to be looking for the root cause of any problems. Once they find those, they learn from their mistakes and document them so they don't slip back into the old ways, or 6 months down the line have the same problem and not understand what they've forgotten, what they did to fix it, or what was going on. So as far as personnel goes, stable personnel. In this type of situation, we instill the white room, we instill culture. We're all about training and investing in our people. And if they're constantly leaving, then we're losing out. That's waste. That's a lot of waste, a lot of muda. Then we bring it in and having to start over. So for all of this to work, we need stable personnel. You can't have organizational learning or a learning organization if everybody is leaving. If everybody is leaving, you have to ask why they're leaving. But in this case, in this philosophy, they're paid well, they're included, they're trained, their personal needs are met, they have challenges, they have responsibility, there's personal growth there. You'd have to ask, what other company would they want to work for and why? Why would they leave this? Now, with growing leaders from within, there is slow promotion. As I may have mentioned before, promotion, people don't want the promotion. There's not a big financial incentive to become the boss like there is in other countries where if you become boss, boom, you get a $30,000 raise. From what I've read, it's not like that. It's much smaller. There's not as much power distance and salary gap there. And they pick the person who's interested in being leader, who can be leader, who understands the system, who understands the processes, and can be the role model of the department or work group. So that takes a while. Takes a while to get a promotion, not after 6 months, but 6 years or more. In this case, and with all this philosophy and culture and all of that stuff, if something were to happen to upper management, we've got to have a plan for new top management. So new managers, CEOs, top managers, would be groomed over time and prepared, so in the event that something does happen, it's not a shock. We've already thought through everything. We have somebody prepared. Kind of like a vice president and a vice president to the vice president and so on. So, next one, standardized best practices. We've talked about this. Document, understand, get things repeatable, and then go to continuous improvement. So as far as dimming goes, go to Gemba and understand, see for yourself, go to where value is added to understand what's going on, and that is one of his faulty assumptions. If they don't go to Gemba to fully understand, they might make a faulty assumption and have the wrong answer to probably even the wrong problem. Deming also said, don't tamper with the system. And that is what's going on here. Making decisions slowly. Also, Deming said, don't just do something, stand there. That's exactly what's going on here. Deming also said the disease of mobility of management, and that is right there. So you can see how Deming is embedded in the Toyota way. And I would imagine Toyota might have been at the meeting, or at least had friends at the meeting in 1950 when Deming was in Japan. So there we go. There's the Toyota way and the Deming connections to the Toyota way.